All Bluey fans know the story of her brother, who sadly was never born. But what most don't know is that in the original storyline, Chili was actually supposed to be pregnant with a third pup, Bluey's younger brother. Do you know the real story behind Bluey and Bingo's lost sibling, and whether he could still be born in the future? Before we dive into this story, let's be very clear. We are not discussing any theories here, alright? These are facts. Ludo Studios had originally planned to start the series with Chili already pregnant with their next pup. Now, let's show you an image that proves it. This is a photo from 2017 showing the Heeler family at the beach, and if you take a close look at Chili, you'll notice she's a few months pregnant. Many fans believe this is just a fan-made image, but that's not the case. This is an official image from Ludo Studios created for the show's launch. As you already know, the Heeler family's adventures began in October 2018, but before that, the studio used promotional posters to advertise the series. So, in the original story, Bluey was supposed to have a baby brother who would be born in the first season. Unfortunately, that baby never moved forward. There are theories and even evidence suggesting that this baby was supposed to be a boy named Ben Heeler, and we're about to show you everything right now. So grab your popcorn, because another Cinewave episode full of information is starting. In Season 2, one of the most important episodes related to the theory of Bluey and Bingo's lost brother is The Show, which is about Mother's Day. In this episode, Bingo accidentally drops Chili's breakfast on the floor, making her feel so sad that she thinks she ruined Mother's Day. That's when Bluey comes up with the idea of putting on a theater play to tell the family's story. In this role, Bingo plays the role of Chili. Through this reenactment, we learn that Bandit and Chili started dating during a trip to London and that Bandit proposed to her in Italy. The pups use a balloon to represent Chili's pregnancy, which seems innocent at first. But in a heartbreaking moment, the balloon pops. Bandit holds Chili's hand, making it very clear to older fans that Mrs. Heeler actually lost a baby. For a long time, this was just a theory, but now we can say it's a confirmed fact. Joe Brumm, the creator of Bluey, spoke with an Australian journalist and writer named Isabel Oderberg. In the book written by Oderberg, Brumm confirms that the balloon scene in the play was a hint that there was indeed a pregnancy before Bluey, the baby we call Ben Heeler. But that's not the sibling we want to talk about today. Ludo Studios originally planned for Chili to have another pup after Bingo. Since the plan never materialized, we believe the creators shifted the idea toward the lost brother concept. But was this dream truly abandoned? Would you like to meet Bluey's new sibling? Comment #Ben so we can be friends! In the episode Perfect, there's a scene where Bandit is talking to Winnie's dad, the little pup Bluey meets at the neighborhood park. The two dads are supposedly discussing boomerangs, but that's not really what's happening. In reality, they're talking about Bandit getting surgery to prevent him from having more children. This means that Mr. Heeler and Chili were considering whether they should have another pup. Now, here's something important to explain. In the correct episode order, the story in Bedroom, when Bluey asks to sleep alone, happens after Bandit's conversation about the surgery. This means that when Chili is crying because no one will sleep in the crib they've been keeping, it's because she and Bandit decided not to have a third pup. That's why the baby crib would be donated. Most likely, Bluey and Bingo's future cousin will be the character who uses that crib in the next season. However, there are still some clues suggesting that Bandit never actually had the surgery. And even if he did, that wouldn't be a problem because it's something that can be reversed. That's great news for fans who are hoping to see Chili pregnant in the next season.
Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
One of the most important episodes of the series, and one that says a lot about the Heeler sisters' unborn sibling, is Sleepytime. But most fans don't fully understand what it really means. Luckily, you're a fan of our channel because we're about to explain everything a true Bluey fan needs to know. The episode begins with Chili reading a bedtime story to Bingo. The book's cover shows a little bird that has just hatched from an egg. This is the first reference to Chili's puppies because later on, Bingo is born from inside planet Earth. Chili asks her daughter what the picture is called, and Bingo answers Mercury. And this is really important because Mercury is the first planet in the order of worlds orbiting the sun. You might remember that during the dream, Bingo is born from inside planet Earth, which is the third in order. While the little Heeler is floating through space, she passes in front of another world that is also cracked. That planet is Venus, the second in order, which means it represents the show's main character because she is the second child in the Heeler family. This theory makes even more sense when you notice that right after the Venus scene, the next character to appear is the little blue pup. In this dream, Bandit is represented by Jupiter. When Bingo is walking on its surface, she jumps into a hole along with Floppy. In the next scene, we see Bandit wincing in pain because Bingo kicked a very sensitive part of his body. And in the dream, Bingo is hugging Jupiter's core, or in other words, Bandit's seed. At this moment, we realize that the younger sibling could actually be born. When Bandit carries Bingo away in the dream, she suddenly feels like she's standing on Pluto, the world that is no longer considered a planet. This suggests that Bingo herself might never have been born, since the healer couple hadn't planned on having a third puppy. But if you pay close attention, you'll notice that when the little brown pup looks toward the sun, right behind Saturn, there's a red planet. That's Mars. In the order of planets, Mars is fourth in line, and in Bingo's dream, it isn't cracked, meaning it hasn't been born. Yet. The episode continues with Bingo being carried very close to the sun. The star represents Chili, but look where Bingo ends up, standing on Mercury, the first planet closest to the sun. In the dream, Mercury isn't cracked either, because the healer's first child was never born. Chili had a miscarriage. This means that Bingo is standing on the planet that represents the couple's eldest pup, and it probably shows that Chili wanted another child out of love for the baby she lost. So, let's break it all down. The sun is Chili, while Jupiter is Bandit. Mercury is the baby they lost. Venus represents Bluey, the healer's second child. Earth is Bingo, and Mars will be the healer's fourth child. Since Mars is a red planet, we believe this future pup would be a red healer, just like Chili. It's amazing how much thought Ludo Studios put into everything, isn't it? You know what you should do right now? Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell.
Thank you.
But how can we be so sure that Bandit and Chili's other children would be boys? The answer is actually pretty simple. First, let's remember that Bluey was originally supposed to be a TV show about Rusty. Ludo Studios initially planned for the cricket-loving pup to be the main character of the entire series. From the very beginning, they wanted the main pup to be a boy. But even after changing course, the creators still held on to that idea. The abandoned Rusty show, which never made it to production, is the foundation of the theory about Bluey's lost brother. In other words, it's an idea that didn't work out, but the creators loved it so much that they found a way to include it in the story as a tribute. If you look closely, you'll notice that Rusty looks so much like the main character that they could almost be twins. The only differences between them are his color and the marking on his chest. And it's highly likely that Bluey's friend is Ludo Studios' way of showing fans what her first brother would have been like. Someone passionate about sports and soldier games, just like Granddad Mort. The second clue lies in Mars, the planet that represents the child Chili and Bandit wanted to have. Mars is named after a male god from Roman mythology, who, interestingly enough, was the son of Jupiter, another direct reference to Bandit. And yes, Mercury was also a male figure, while Venus and Earth were female ones, just like Bluey and Bingo. Did Bandit really get the surgery to stop having more kids? We don't think so, and Bluey herself might be the one proving this theory. In Perfect, when Bandit is talking to Winnie's dad, Bluey is pretending to be a boomerang and crashes into Bandit. Now, let's remember, at this exact moment, the two adults are discussing the surgery. After Bluey hits Bandit, he jokingly asks Winnie's dad if he wants a boomerang, but Fido replies that he already has plenty, which means Winnie has a lot of siblings. That's when Fido tells Mr. Healer that he should just get rid of the boomerang. In the real conversation, this means Bandit should go through with the surgery. Bluey's dad agrees and throws the pup away. But as you already know, boomerangs always come back, and that's exactly what happens. Bluey returns and crashes into her dad again. This could be a hint that the fourth puppy is still a possibility. Maybe it won't happen in season 4. After all, the only baby we will see is Aunt Brandy's child, but nothing is stopping the show from ending with a pregnancy for Mrs. Healer. That makes us wonder. In the final episode of season 3, there's a picture on the wall showing Bluey's graduation. In the image, there's no sign of another sibling. Yes, that could mean that Chili never got pregnant again, but does that really confirm anything? The episode is called Surprise, and its main theme was showing Bluey's future child. So what if Bluey's younger sibling was actually the one taking the picture? What if this was all just one big joke to mislead the fans? And let's not forget the official Bluey image that shows Chili pregnant. That could very well be a glimpse into the future, one where the Healer family welcomes another puppy. Just like how, in Peppa Pig, Mummy Pig is said to be having another baby 20 years after the series began. In other words, anything is possible. You know what else is possible? You sticking around with us. That's why we picked out 2 more videos full of fun and adventure for you to watch. We'll see you in the next one. See you soon!